Welcome to Conversations. I'm Muqtadar Khan, your host, and today I'm going to talk to you about Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek Ramaswamy is trying very hard to change America so that he can fit in an America that will make him a president. I find Vivek Ramaswamy's arguments about who is an American that he recently made in the New York Times, and I will share that article, or at least a link to that article with you shortly. And I will also talk about the recent TPUSA, Turning Point USA's annual convention or conference. It's called the AmpFest, America Festival. And in that, there was all these debates that went on about essentially a debate about who is a true American, but they also were biting each other, attacking each other, essentially over whether Donald Trump and Republicans should be America first or should they be Israel first. So there was a lot of these back and forth going on. With on one side you had Tucker Carlson and Steve Bannon, and on the other side you had people like Ben Shapiro, who are not just Israel first, but Israel only speakers in the MAGA movement. But Vivek Ramaswamy did not participate much in that, except to target Nick Fuentes, and we'll talk about that shortly. So this is what is going on. There is a wing in the MAGA, in the Republican Party, which is racist. As far as I'm concerned, the Republican Party is mildly racist to extremely racist. And so Vivek Ramaswamy wants to be part of the mildly racist Republican Party and pretend as if that racism does not exist. And he wants to now, because there is so much of anti-Indian and anti-Hindu sentiment coming from his own right wing, the people like Nick Fuentes, Ramaswamy is now attacking that. It's very interesting. I will really unpack some of his views in much more detail. But in the same conference, J.D. Vance ended the conference. He gave the final speech. And let me just play that to you, and you can then realize what Ramaswamy is fighting for. This is what Ramaswamy is a crusader for. Listen to it.
Truly served as an anchor of the United States of America is that we have been, and by the grace of God, we always will be a Christian nation.
So J.D. Vance, the current vice president of the United States, he's from the same state as Vivek Ramaswamy from the state of Ohio. And Vivek Ramaswamy was kind of endorsed by Erica Kirk, who hosted the conference, who is now the CEO of TPUSA, Charlie Kirk's foundation. She is Charlie Kirk's widow. And she also introduced and endorsed J.D. Vance as the next president. They all call him 48. So this man stands there and said, this is a Christian state. And that is the state that Vivek Ramaswamy wants to become the president of. And he had nothing critical to say of J.D. Vance. He's probably not going to run for the president in 2028. He's still young. So he can even wait 20 more years to run for president. But anyway, so the point that I want to do in this, while I will talk a little bit about Nick Fuentes and others, my whole point is to point out to the hypocrisies of Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek Ramaswamy pretends that there is no racism in mainstream Republican Party. When he ran for the president of the United States and in the primaries, he did everything except criticize Donald Trump. I did a show on him, and I talked about him a few times on the show. I made it very clear that one thing that Vivek Ramaswamy needs to do is to have a mirror right next to his teleprompter so he can see that he's not a white Christian and that he is a very dark-skinned South Indian. And on top of that, as he says himself, a proud Hindu. So unlike Nikki Haley and uh, Bobby Jindal before him, he has not converted to Christianity to become more acceptable to the mainstream America, especially in the Republican Party, which has a huge, nearly all evangelical Christians, a lot of those who are very religious, both white as well as conservative religious uh, African Americans, all are Christians. He talks about the conservative movement as if it doesn't have a religion. So he's talking about an imaginary America. Let me show you a couple of paragraphs from his New York Times article. This was the article that was published in the New York Times. His first sign of hypocrisy is that he went to a Vogue magazine. All of these Republicans spent months and years attacking the New York Times and others as woke. So when he had to, articulate his vision of America, he didn't go to New York Post or Fox News or some other conservative outlet. He had to go to the New York Times. That itself tells you that even while they keep attacking the liberal media, they are desperate to be appreciated by the liberal media, to be portrayed in the liberal media. These days, you can see Marjorie Taylor Greene more often on CNN and MSNBC than on Fox. Anyway, so this is what he says. Let me pull a paragraph off. He says that there are two competing visions now emerging on the American right, and they are incompatible. One vision of American identity is based on lineage, blood, and soil. Inherited attributes matter most. The purest form of an American is so-called heritage American, one whose ancestry traces back to the founding of the United States or earlier. So he's saying it's based on blood and soil, and his language is so DEI. He has stripped this right-wing vision, and this is basically talking about Nick Fuentes, but so is Donald Trump. So the vision that he is sanitized is this. One vision of American identity, which is based on lineage, is talking about race, white race of European origin, and Christian, maybe Judeo-Christian, those who are a bit on the center side of the Republican Party. But if you notice, J.D. Vance didn't say that America is a Judeo-Christian country. He said it's a Christian nation. And that is something Vivek Ramaswamy, even when he is describing what he is disagreeing with, he is being hypocritical and unfair. If he's attacking the vision of Nick Fuentes, then say it. That there is a Republican, or on the right, on the conservative movement, a vision of America which wants America to be white and Christian. Say that. That's white nationalism. That's exactly what Donald Trump wants. He doesn't have the guts and courage to say a single word critical of Donald Trump, and he doesn't want to get into trouble. So he basically couches it in this language. It's like Shashi Tharoor, using words more to obfuscate than to clarify, to confuse rather than to convey what you're trying to think. And then he says the other vision. I wonder who in the Republican Party is articulating this vision. He says America isn't a scalar quality that varies based on your ancestry. It's binary. So he said either you're an American or you're not. So you are an American if you believe in the rule of law. Really? Oh my God, this is the first thing that the conservatives talk about, rule of law. Is he out of his mind? Hasn't he followed the Epstein saga? Even after the courts have ruled that everything that is there in the Epstein files should have been released by December 19th, the Department of Justice of Donald Trump, the Republican government, did not do that. They broke the law. And this guy is saying that, oh, these conservatives, we believe in the rule of law. No, you don't. In freedom of conscience, really? Freedom of conscience, the amount of anybody who has advocated for Palestinian rights, or anybody who talks about the rights of other oppressed minorities, they are these days in deep trouble. the Republicans have experienced a lot of, shall we say, cancel culture from the left. There's no doubt about it. And so they have attacked that cancel culture by advocating for freedom of speech. But currently, at the moment, media people are being sued by the Republicans for what they say. Professors are being fired from universities. People are in deep, deep trouble. Just this week, Barry Weiss, the new editor in chief of CBC, what did she do? She pulled a 60 minutes video because it was critical of Donald Trump. And this moron, Vivek Ramaswamy, this hypocrite, has the temerity to go and say, we are people who believe in the rule of law and freedom of expression. Really? Why didn't you criticize Barry Weiss by name for what she did? Why don't you articulate about how the media and others are under pressure for what they say? We believe in colorblind meritocracy. No, you don't believe in colorblind meritocracy. We believe in the US Constitution. So do everybody else. Who doesn't? Who does not? Who is talking about a third term? It's the Republicans talking about a third term for Donald Trump when all scholars, both on the right and on the left, and he is a lawyer himself, trained by Yale Law School, will tell you that the US Constitution does not allow for a third term for anybody. They believe in the American dream. If you're a citizen who swears exclusive allegiance to our nation. So what he is trying to do is he's trying to make and define an American as one who has no race, who has no religion, who has no history, who has no heritage, who has no connections to America's past. Just got off the plane and believes in the US Constitution and believes in becoming rich, the American dream, and believes in meritocracy. That is his vision of America. And then he wants everybody to believe that, because only then can he be elected as president. Oh, by the way, most of the values that he's advocating for are the values of the left. When the New Yorkers went and voted for Zohran Mamdani, they believed in meritocracy. They didn't pay attention to his race, that the fact that he's a South Asian, half African, half Indian. They did not go for his religion, the fact that he's a Muslim. No. They didn't worry about the fact that he's just a naturalized American and is not someone who came from God knows on the Plymouth Rock before the US was created. They voted on meritocracy. It's the Democratic voters who are voting on meritocracy. It's the Republicans who attacked him for his religion, for his race, and for what he said. Another hypocrisy of Vivek Ramaswamy is that he's attacking his own party, the extremists like Nick Fuentes. He calls them out by name. It's easy to target Nick Fuentes. All these Republicans these days who want to show that, oh, look at me, I'm so sophisticated, I'm not racist, are attacking Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is nothing. He's just a kid. He's just a 23 or 24-year-old right-winger who is saying obnoxious things and becoming popular because unfortunately there are lots of people who like this obnoxious things to be said in public. But there is racism in mainstream America. For example, Randy Fine, this Congressman Randy Fine, who's a Republican, he has made such racist comments about Muslims and about Palestinians. Has Vivek Ramaswamy ever spoken against him? No, he talks about fighting anti-Semitism. That's good. There is a lot of anti-Semitism in this country, but not a word about Islamophobia. Even some of the people who suffer from are victims of Islamophobia are Indian Muslims, such as the grad student at Georgetown University. Vivek Ramaswamy does not. He's a hypocrite. Another sign of his hypocrisy is that that one of the things that is going on in India today is Hindu nationalism. And what is Hindu nationalism is all about? That India is a Hindu country with Hindu heritage, Hindu history, Hindu values, and 5,000-year-old. Great. And he's a proud Hindu. So he wants there to be no history, no identity, no religion, no culture, no traditions, no shared values based on long history in America, but he never condemns the same things in India. There's no way he can dodge the fact that he is an Indian American. And he has talked about the wonders of Indian values in the past, and he got beaten up and then he backed off when he tried to mock American culture and glorify Indian culture and saying that's why we are successful. But to me, it is very, very amusing that this man is talking about values which are more common to the Democrats, to the left. There's not a single Indian American who the GOP has elected to the Congress or the Senate. There are 6 Indian Americans in the US Congress. They're all in the Democratic Party. The mayor of New York is an Indian American elected by Democrats. The lieutenant governor of Virginia is a Hyderabadi, an Indian American woman elected by Democrats. There are very few people who got elected. There's Bobby Jindal and Nikki Haley after they converted to Christianity. J.D. Vance has a problem that his wife is Indian and Hindu. And there's so much pressure now. I mean, there's all these discussions going on that he should divorce Usha and then marry Erica Kirk. And then what a great Christian couple they will be. And then it'll be easy for him to become the president. That issue is going to bother him. He was asked this question about his religion. But before I show that, let me also tell you what the one reason why all of them are talking about Nick Fuentes. Everybody these days, including Tucker Carlson, brought him on his show. All of these people are talking about Nick Fuentes primarily because he has now a huge following. He did a video in which he trashed Vivek Ramaswamy, and there were 55,000 people watching it live. You don't get that kind of viewership in the US. And that is also not on YouTube. That is on Rumble or something. Let me also show you something interesting. I have edited all the foul language. I strongly recommend that go to X and go to Nick Fuentes and watch this video in the original to get the full impact of how much hate he is expressing. They are all Republicans. All his followers are Republicans. They are all Trump voters. And they are the people whose vote Vivek Ramaswamy seeks. Keep that in mind. So here's Nick Fuentes for you.
Anymore. We're telling you. And if you think
he's talking directly to Vivek Ramaswamy, I had to take out all the F-bombs that he dropped before. So it looks as if he's talking in the middle.
Now that you're going to become the governor of Ohio, telling white people that you're as American as them, you got your anchor baby birthright citizenship from...
He's calling Vivek Ramaswamy as an anchor baby because apparently, I don't know this for a fact, but apparently that he was born just a few months after his mother came to the U.S. So the idea is that she must have been pregnant when she came to the U.S. and she had a baby so that she can stay back here in America. So people who come and have kids in America who become Americans, they're called anchor babies because benevolent and soft-hearted judges then allow the families to stay at home if their children are American born.
And a shred of respect to the people that built this country. We're not asking anymore. We're telling you. And if you think now that you're going to become the governor of Ohio, telling white people that you're as American as them, You got your anchor baby birthright citizenship from your H-1B fucking parents. You think you're going to go around Ohio telling people that have been there since the Civil War or since the Revolutionary War, you're as American as them, you're now going to be their governor? You got another thing coming, pal. Not on my watch. You're calling me out? Groyperism isn't conservatism? You're right. It's Americanism. Groyperism is Americanism. I am an American. You say that we have no place in the conservative movement. I say you and your family has no place in the governor's mansion in Ohio. You want to call me out? You think we have no place? I say we'll see you in Ohio. I'll see you in 2026, and I hope I see every other American, because you know what? I don't care who wins this election. It's a small price to pay. People say, well, who else are we going to vote for? Are we going to vote for the Democrat? I don't care who gets elected. If it's a Democrat, if it's another Republican, it is a small sacrifice. It's a small price to pay to send a message, which is that the Republican Party cannot continue to cut off our heads and shit down our throats with this.
Remember, he is very popular. There are thousands and thousands of people who follow him, and they're all Republicans and in the conservative movement. And our friend Vivek Ramaswamy aspires to be their leader. He wants to be their leader. He's not saying, don't vote for me. He's not going to tell Nick Fuentes' followers, don't vote for me. Otherwise, he's not going to even get any votes.
90% of the voters for the GOP are white. Did you know that? 90% of the voters that cast a vote for Trump in 2016 were white people. And there, go live there if it makes you feel uncomfortable. If you want to live here, give an ounce and a shred of respect.
So the point he's trying to make is that majority of the voters are white voters. America is a white country. You are not white, and so you don't deserve to be in this country. He's promising to move to Ohio for the whole year of 2026, and he's going to campaign against Vivek Ramaswamy and make sure that Vivek Ramaswamy does not become the governor. I don't think Vivek Ramaswamy is going to have any problems in the primaries. There's nobody else. Donald Trump told him to go win this election. So far, I don't know whether Donald Trump is going to really push and campaign for Vivek Ramaswamy or not, but we will see. So far, the media has given him an easy time. They need to get him on record to talk about the Epstein files. We want to know whether he is okay with the way the Department of Justice has consistently lied to the American people about the Epstein files. We would like to know where he stands on all these deportations, especially deportations of Indians, deportations of others who are here. Where does he stand on the H-1B visa, some of the unfair changes in the policies that has happened? He wants to talk about meritocracy, so go ahead. Talk about the H-1B visa. It doesn't matter, right, to you. It doesn't matter to Vivek Ramaswamy whether the guy was born here, whether he's Christian or white, or whether his great-grandfathers were part of civil rights. As long as he's smart and he believes or says, I believe in the US Constitution and wants to become rich, that's the American dream, he's willing to hire them. These are all H-1B people, right? So is he going to stand up for that? It's easy to beat on Nick Fuentes. And what is also interesting, he said something which is an absolute lie. Let me show you. A lot of Indian Americans who are on the Republican Party, they pretend that there is no racism in this country, and they pretend that they are white when they talk. Let me show you this particular thing. He says there are two competing visions now emerging on the American right, and they are incompatible. One vision of American identity is based on lineage. Now, what he's trying to say is that they are incompatible. How is it? How is it incompatible? That's the whole point, because Nick Fuentes is nothing but the current version of KKK. The KKK was anti-Black. Nick Fuentes is anti-Jewish, anti-Muslim, and now anti-Indian. And Vivek Ramaswamy has not said a single word about the height of Islamophobia in this country. When he talks about being race blind, he's a liar and a hypocrite. Let me show you how he talks about his religion that he's so proud of, what he says about Hinduism. So he was asked a question about, this was during the presidential elections, that there are lots of people who are unhappy that you're going. Like, for example, in this particular rant, Nick Fuentes says that if J.D. Vance becomes the governor of Ohio, there will be no Christmas in the governor's mansion. There will be Diwali in the governor's mansion. Is this guy going to celebrate Christian festivals even though he's not a Christian? Wait till these Americans discover how Indians are treating Christians in this particular Christmas. They're going and attacking churches, abusing Christians, destroying their celebrations. Even the government has canceled a holiday on Christmas to celebrate Vajpayee in Uttar Pradesh. So the children who are Christian have to go to school on the day of Christmas because they made attending. This is all is going on in India. Vivek Ramaswamy is never going to condemn that, but I will make sure that if he ever runs for president, I will bring all these issues up. We will not tolerate hypocrisy. Okay? So let's listen to what he has to say, and then I will unpack it for you. This man is like an snake oil salesman.
Cincinnati, and I actually have been on the board of St. X, except for a hiatus to run for president. I'm Hindu. Now, I went to Christian schools. I went to St. Xavier in Cincinnati, and I actually have been on the board of St. X, except for a hiatus to run for president. And I can tell you with confidence that we share the same value set in common. I'll tell you about my faith. My faith teaches me that.
So he's saying that he's Hindu, but he's been to a Christian school. So don't worry about me. I've been educated by Christians, and I have the same values as Christians do. Well, then make India, instead of making India a Hindu Rashtra, we should make India a Christian Rashtra, since they are all shared values, isn't it? Vivek Ramaswamy said that's okay, because he already doesn't care about history, doesn't care about heritage, he doesn't care about traditional values. Now, you might say, why am I saying that? I don't subscribe to anything that the right-wingers subscribe to. I do not subscribe to this version of Vivek Ramaswamy. I do not even subscribe to the broad Republican Party. I'm left of center. Okay, I believe in multiculturalism. I believe in treating people of all religions and all races equally and not being colorblind. I believe in social justice.
That God puts each of us here for a purpose. That we have a moral duty to realize that purpose. That God works through us in different ways, but we're still equal because God resides in each of us. Now, I had what you would call not a traditional upbringing, but probably a very traditional upbringing. Right? My parents taught me family is the foundation. Marriage is sacred. Divorce isn't some option you just prefer off a menu when things don't go your way. Abstinence before marriage is the way to go. Adultery is wrong. That the good things in life involve a sacrifice.
You know, all the last few things he said are things that his leader of his party has done. Donald Trump has divorced his wife, and let's not go into the rest of it. Once the Epstein files are fully released, people will know what is what.
Now, are those foreign values in this country? I know it could look that way at times. You turn on the television, go to the movie theater, your local DEI training at a company, or what they're teaching your kids in schools. That could seem a little unfamiliar. I don't think it's unfamiliar to most of us. I think those are the same Judeo-Christian values.
Now listen carefully as to how he tries to say that he belongs to the Judeo-Christian tradition. So he's saying that I'm like Muslims. We are Abrahamic tradition, right? We subscribe to Judeo-Christian traditions. Really? And then he has memorized the 10 Commandments. Listen to him. I guarantee you there are many people in the Republican Party who probably cannot so quickly recite all the 10 Commandments that he has done.
That I learned at St. X. When we get to the 10 Commandments, what do they say? There's one true God. Don't take
one true God. La ilaha illallah. This is exactly what Muslims say. Okay. So since when are Hindus subscribing to this idea of one true God. This is, even Christians these days practice a Trinity. It's only Jews and Muslims who believe in a one true God. So this whole point is, during this entire talk, he's answering the question about his Hindu religion. He has nothing to say about Hinduism at all. He's just trying to show people as to how he has internalized Christian and Judeo-Christian values. Look at me, I went to this Christian school. Look at me, I believe in Judeo-Christian values. Look at me, I have memorized the 10 Commandments. Not one shlok from the Gita, not one example from the Mahabharata. When he talked about purpose in life, he could have said that Krishna taught Arjun to stand up for his kartavya, for his duty, for dharma. He could have said those things. But he knows that his party is racist. The moment he starts quoting the Mahabharata or the Gita, he's finished. That's why he's quoting the Bible and the 10 Commandments and emphasizing that he went to a Christian school, he's on the board of a Christian school. It's amazing. He's trying to con the Americans into voting for him.
Take his name in vain. Observe the Sabbath. Respect your parents. Don't kill. Don't lie. Don't cheat. Don't steal. Don't commit adultery. Don't covet. That's when it hit me. We share the same value set. I'm Hindu.
So that's what I wanted to talk about today, that Mr. Vivek Ramaswamy is a hypocrite at many levels. His tragedy is that he wants to become the leader of the haters. But for the sad part for him is that he's brown. In fact, he's pretty dark brown. He's Hindu. He's a foreigner. And his party, that is the main agenda of his party, to go after immigrants, to go after non-white people, to go after non-Judeo-Christian people. And now they're trying to drop the Judeo from the Judeo-Christian, and J.D. Vance was so clear about it. Let me replay what J.D. Vance said in his speech at TPUSA.
But I want to say something here. The only thing that has truly served as an anchor of the United States of America is that we have been, and by the grace of God, we always will be, a Christian nation.
By the grace of God, America will be a Christian nation with Vivek Ramaswamy as its president. That will be very interesting to watch. This man has abandoned the people who are going to be victims of his party. Minorities, religious minorities, in which Hindus will also be demonized. So will Indians, so will Muslims, and all the others, Africans, etc. And it is a very pity that this man's naked ambition is unable to hide the profound hypocrisy that he has displayed and continues to display. So anyway, that's the point I wanted to make. We'll continue to watch what happens in the Ohio elections. Ohio at one time used to be a swing state. George W. Bush became, it was critical for George W. Bush to win Ohio to become president for a second time, which he eventually did. So we will see what happens. 2026 is going to be about things that Vivek Ramaswamy doesn't really care about. It is about affordability. It is about the life of poor people. It's for people who are getting marginalized. Already the reports show that inflation has increased in the United States. Unemployment has increased. So life has become a bit more difficult. And once the impact of the tariff sets in, he will have to distance himself from Trumpian policies by the time midterm comes here. And I'm not very sure he has the guts to do that. Because if he says one thing against Trump, all Trump has to say is, we can't have a Hindu in our party. And that's it, he's finished. Or he can say, well, I'm going to take a look at his parents and see if they got their green card properly. All he has to do is just make one tweet, and that will be the end of Vivek Ramaswamy. Politically, I mean, I don't mean that he will be deported and all of that. Already some of his own party members are calling for his deportation. And denaturalization. His party is talking about denaturalization. His parents could be denaturalized. Donald Trump has also talked about eliminating birthright citizenship. That is his party, his leader. And if eliminating birthright citizenship takes place, Vivek Ramaswamy will also be on the receiving end. So what kind of an idiot he is, that these are the values of the party that he wants to lead. He's a hypocrite who wants to be leader of haters. Thank you for watching Conversations. I will take some questions if there are any. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video, press the bell icon, and don't forget to share it with your socio-political network. Merry Christmas to all of you who are watching, and especially Merry Christmas to all the Christians in India who have been harassed by the Hindu thugs all over in Madhya Pradesh and UP, etc. I pray for your safety, and I wish you all a happy and Merry Christmas. Thank you for watching. Bye. All right. Let's see if there are any interesting questions and comments. Sunny Singh says Ramaswamy is a joker. I agree. Sunny, weren't you a member of Conversations? Jilani Sabun Saab, how are you? Good evening to you. It's pretty late here. Hello, Pratik Patel from Gujarat. Well, they're trying their best to confuse. Now they are saying there's 1 more million extra Epstein files. We'll see what happens with that. This is exactly what I told in my shows, that Vivek Ramaswamy should have a mirror right next to the teleprompter, so it can, while he's giving all these pompous speeches, he's constantly reminded of the color of his skin. There is this conservative woman, I forgot her name. She had a meeting with him and said, "Oh, I agree with you on all policy issues. I like all your policy issues, but I'm not going to vote for you because you are an Indian," she told. So, yeah. That is an interesting observation. First of all, Vivek Ramaswamy is a Brahmin. According to the religious text, Brahmins are at the top and others are there for serving the Brahmins alone. They don't believe. He was lying when he said, "Oh, we believe in equality." Really? Do you believe in equality? So castes are irrelevant? He should have said it. I'm going to assume, I know he's a Brahmin. I'm going to assume that he values his traditions and culture and his caste. It is another form of racism, because you're born of a lower caste and you're born of a higher caste. That is heritage, that is inherited. The very thing he's talking against, remember? Look, if there is a God and there is a Son of God, there are two. Father and Son both can't be one, can they? So you can play around with words. But if you believe in one God, just say we believe in one God. Don't get into all these intellectual jumbles and tight knots and trying to explain how the Father and the Son are different but the same, so on and so forth. It's not. There are two entities, isn't it? And I don't even know who the Holy Ghost is. Actually, I've never ever heard anybody explain to me what the third element of it is. Muslims, on the other hand, do believe that there is a kind of Trinity, which is God, and He created Jesus Christ, and the news was brought by Archangel Gabriel. So that is the Muslims' understanding of that particular Trinity. But I don't want to go into theology. That's not the point. The point was that Vivek Ramaswamy was trying to say that he believes in one God, one eternal God, which I'm not sure is consistent with much of Hindu philosophy. That's an interesting point. I studied Sanskrit, Baba, Rama, ये सब पढ़ा हुआ हूँ मैं. I just forgotten most of that Sanskrit. I don't use it much. I'm not very sure. These are BJP governed states where Christians are being harassed. There was also one episode in Tamil Nadu with regards to Christians. So as long as these people they think that they are heroes, they are able to do bad things to Christians and put up those videos on social media. They are not even afraid that they will be arrested by the police. Just now, another rapist is being released. So those are horrible things that are going on in India. So I mean, if they are, first they release the rapists and murderers of Bilqis Bano and her family, and then now this new case have come up. Another rapist is being released. There's a lot of uproar in India with regards to that. So if you have a government which releases such criminals and oppresses minorities, and people with impunity can go around hitting people, beating people. Look at the guy who was killed in Bihar just a few days ago. His name was Athar Hussain. How can that happen? You know, because people feel that there's no fear. This is Jungle Raj in most of the BJP governed states. I made a video on Deepu Das. Go and see. If you can't Google, can't find it, it's not my problem. You are supposed to be like India is supposed to be high tech 80, so just go find it. It's on the YouTube. Anyway, thank you very much. I think I have addressed all the questions and comments. So please, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, press the bell icon. I have some interesting good news. I got a Christmas present, and my Christmas present was that my main channel, Conversations, which is blocked in India, has crossed 200,000 subscribers. My new channel, which you are watching, is getting close to 60,000, inshallah. It should cross 60,000 in 2025. So thank you for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye. Yeah.